Okay. Do. Howdy and aloha, everyone. This is James with Mana Talk. It is November the 3rd. 2 days away from craziness or some type of normality out there. This is my ongoing documentary about how nuts the planet has been, especially in early 2020. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's just getting crazier and crazier. And I wanted to show you this statistic here. That's this information that's Googled. That's a lot of people, right? But that's not enough people. What I'm saying is the number of LGBTQ plus people in the United States is estimated to be between 13.9 million or 14 million people, right? That's pretty much all they have left, to be honest with you. I don't think they have any more people left. I don't think they have. I mean, that's definitely a good majority of those people. At least 10 million of them are fully committed to Kamala Harris. At least, at the very least. And then the rest are vote blue no matter who. They just, Democrats, they got to vote blue no matter who, no matter how long. They don't care. That's out there. That's probably another 10 million. And then there's the undecided voters, 20 million. Most of them are moving towards Trump because they're just tired and sick and tired of these past almost 4 years now that have just been horrendous financially for people. Inflation, they keep saying that Bidenomics works, and it never worked. It wasn't created to work. It was created to take down the country. That's basically what it was for. It was created for that purpose. And what's interesting now is that they are continuing to say that they're doing a great job, that everything's wonderful, and they're going to do a better job. That's not in their MOD. That's not in their modus operandi. That's not part of why the Demoncratic Party has gone in that direction. That's as I've stated and that I've proved and I've researched and and again, just to make sure, here's the disclaimer. This is entertainment purposes, people. Just letting you know. The thing is their goal is to listen to the globalists. The globalists control the Democratic Party completely and absolutely. Completely. I'd say at least 98.5% of them are all in. A lot of them are branching off and saying, no, I don't want to go through all this craziness anymore, and they're leaving, and we've seen that. Hey, Jordan, how are you doing, buddy? Yeah, I was on vacation in California. It was cool, man. Saw family and friends and stuff like that. Had a good time. It was great. I had a wonderful time. California, but I also saw how expensive everything is, and that's to my point. California is just being destroyed, internally, and and now we're seeing that the goal for the Democratic Party is to follow the plan that's laid out by the World Economic Forum, the World Health Organization, and the global pedo-predator class, period. And the reason why I brought this up is because they know they can't, sane, cognitive thinking, reasonable type people cannot make that decision to say, well, vote blue no matter who. Yeah, I understand the LGBTQ stuff. Nobody's going after those people. That's all a bunch of big farce. More power to them if they want to do crazy shit. Just keep it away from our kids. Period. Fucking keep it away from our kids, man. But the thing is it's just they can't. They're not going to do it. So they know the Demoncratic Party, the global elites, and all these people that are together in the destruction of many countries and many governments across the planet, so that they can, have the new world order. That's not a joke. That's been proven. So they can have their global governance. So they can have their great reset, which is started in early 2020. And they know they don't have it, so they have to cheat. They have to fucking cheat. They have to do whatever they can to rig these machines, to destroy the systems out there that are, everybody's been saying paper ballots. It's, give us get an ID to vote. But that's not the case. They actually, and have had many attorneys on the Democratic side trying to get states to absolutely and thoroughly allow these 15, 20 million, however millions and millions and millions of illegal immigrants to be able to vote. I'm talking with my buddy. I had a hotel room for a night. That was cool because I was in a certain area. And a buddy of mine who lives in Santa Ana, California, which is, I'd say about 90% Hispanic. All these people just, are you fucking crazy? We can't, they're going to take away our jobs. They're going to just, they're getting all these benefits, health benefits, money, hotels, all this other stuff, and they're tucked away. And the crazy thing about it, they get it. Their families, it's such a silly thing to say. Their families, their lineage, and how many generations in the past legally came into the United States or were already here. And they've been paying taxes, working their butts off. They've created big businesses. They've created small businesses. They've worked in the bureaucracy of government. They've been teachers and they've been construction workers or ditch diggers or whatever the case may be, whatever foreman of construction companies for the government. They've paid their fucking dues. And these people want to not only allow these illegal immigrants to be able to vote, to decide the outcome of our country right over the fence, right off of the boat, right through the border. This is their goal is to use these people because they know they don't have it. They don't have enough people, and they know it. So they have to lie, cheat, and steal to get what they want. And I'm telling you, I was a Democrat. I was also in the Green Party, the party that liberals and progressives go to die. And this is the only way they're going to be able to win this thing. Trump has at least, already he has over 60 million people that have voted early. The Demoncrats can't say the same. Some of them, which I've already proven and showed, once they get the CBP1 app for the illegal immigrants that come in, they give them a free phone. Here's your app. Once they track them down and where they want them to be, mostly in the swing states, you've seen it, it's activated, automatically registered. Automatically registered. And their vote goes in. You won't even really see them at the polls. Because with the Dominion machines, they're able to put them in already. It's just... And then you have this chick, who's the one that tried to keep Trump off the ballot. Right? This is just nuts. You gotta listen to her real quick and what she's saying.
Unhide. Oh my gosh.
Did the actions of your office pose an insider threat to elections?
Oh, love this guy.
No.
Given your office's repeated errors that have damaged confidence in our elections, which you say is paramount, will you resign?
Absolutely not, Kyle.
Jenna Griswold, Crazy Eyes Griswold, the Secretary of State from Colorado, who tried to throw Trump off the ballot, was almost successful, but was not thanks to the Supreme Court, has now made a big boo-boo in her state and posted a spreadsheet with voting system passwords for all of the internet to see. The same woman who comes out from the Secretary's office and lectures everybody about safe and secure elections and participating in the democracy and don't worry or question anything that her office is doing, even though we've identified other serious problems here in Colorado, and lectures everybody about safe and secure elections and participating in the democracy and don't worry or question anything that her office is doing, even though we've identified other serious problems here in Colorado, including the fact that in a prior segment here,
Repeated errors that have damaged confidence in our elections, which you say is paramount, will you resign?
Absolutely not, Kyle.
Jenna Griswold, Crazy Eyes Griswold, the Secretary of State from Colorado, who tried to throw Trump off the ballot, was almost successful, but was not thanks to the Supreme Court, has now made a big boo-boo in her state and posted a spreadsheet with voting system passwords for all of the internet to see. The same woman who comes out.
Now, why would anybody do something like that? Why would that chick throw those passwords out there? You think that was a mistake? Because it takes a few keys on the keyboard to make that happen. Was she drunk? Was she on some type of hallucinogenic drug? No, she sent those out to people so that they could finagle and get into the system and cheat. That's their goal. They don't have another way. They don't have any other way. I mean, this is happening. I can go through YouTube and go through Twitter, kind of go through Facebook, definitely go through Instagram lately. And there's tons of this stuff everywhere. You're seeing Pennsylvania, you're seeing North Carolina, you're seeing Georgia, you're seeing all these, so many freaking states of fraud all over the place. All over the place. Right? Wake up, voter fraud exists. United States, this was done 5 days ago. Let's listen to
division, and he litigated voter fraud under both Bush and Obama's Department of Justice until he couldn't. His book Injustice tells the story about how the Obama administration used the Department of Justice to litigate voter fraud when it worked for the Democrats and then leave it alone when it did not. Now, I read this book over the weekend. I'm more convinced than ever that the media does not know what they're talking about when they're covering voter fraud. It happens. It is politicized. And guess what? There's a lucrative industry to deny voter fraud. And in 2011, our next guest warned that who funds this denial industry? George Soros, the globalist, J. Christian Anderson. That's just one of so many books. That's one of so many people. That's one of so many whistleblowers. That's one of countless people. What is wrong with having a paper? You know, it's interesting. Is Florida, or is it Florida? Who does paper ballots? Let me just look that up. I'm pretty sure it's Florida. What state uses U.S. state uses paper ballots?
to vote. Let's see. We already used paper ballots. Okay, well, we'll go by state, okay? And we'll check this real fast. I'm going to show you. Of who uses what. Voting equipment by state. And I'm going to tell you, there's going to be you'll just by looking at this, you're going to find out where the issues are going to be. I mean, come on. We are at the precipice, my friend, for sure. Let me make this small enough so we can see this. All right. So we have hand-marked paper ballots and BMDs. I don't know what BMDs are. Balloting BMD. What is a... Let me look this up. What is a voting BMD? Ballot marking device. A ballot marking device or a vote recorder is the type of voting machine used by voters to record votes on physical ballots. Missouri does that. Thank you, Missouri. At least somebody's fucking paying attention. What do we got? Okay, here we go. All right, so you guys saw that, right? Just make sure you see it so you know what's going on. I want to make sure I'm giving you the information needed to better make your decision, because that's what Trump wants. Why wouldn't you want the most practical systems or the most transparent systems or the most fairest systems and processes and procedures? Why wouldn't you want that? Why would you want something that can be hacked, that's been proven? Why would you want something that can easily be, like you just saw it? That lady sent out the passwords so people can go in there and fuck with the machines. You know why. I'm showing you why. They want to fucking cheat. They don't have enough people. They brought in illegals to do it. Right? I just told you their system on that. That's fucking nuts. All right, let's go back to that page, Ballotpedia. I want to see where we're at. Hand-marked Alaska paper ballots, BMDs, DRS, VA. What is a DRE voting system? Okay, let me see. What is a DRE voting machine? DRE voting machine, a direct recording electronic voting machine, records votes by means of ballot display provided by the mechanical. Okay, that's pretty good. All right, so you with receipts. And then what is the other one that's showing here? With VVPAT. What is VVPAT voting system? What is VVPAT voting machine used for? Voter verified paper audit trail. Oh, I like that. So if it's got the DRE, if it's got the BDM, BMDs, let me just make sure here. Go to that site, people. That'll tell you what the fuck's going on in the world. What is a BMD voting machine? Okay, there's a ballot marking. It's a ballot marking device. So, if you've got at least two of these three things, the voting machine, direct recording, electronic voting machine, maybe, I'm not sure about that one. But the voter verified paper audit trail is a good one for sure. So, the hand-marked paper ballots in Arizona, optical scan tabulation methods, optical scan. See that when it says optical scan there, right? What if that goes straight into a computerized hackable system? And they scan the votes, and it goes into the system, and it can probably be. And people have said these, and it's like Dominion, right? So these optical scan machines. Let's go back here. That's in Arizona. Yeah. So that lady just gave away, right? She just gave away the passwords to get into that optical scan machine. Is that fucking crazy? All mail ballots, election day voting centers, hand marked ballots. Yeah. Optical scan, California. Hand count and optical scan. Yeah, once in there. Let me see. Connecticut, optical scan, BMD, tabular. Oh, there you go. Delaware. BMD tabulator. Optical scan. Georgia, Florida. Jesus. Hand count and optical scan. Idaho. Iowa. DRE, Louisiana. DRE, which is a direct recording electronic voting machine. Which one has BMDs for all voters, optical scan? Louisiana. Hand count and optical scan. Okay, wait. I want to see what the optical... How does... In voting machines. An optical scan voting machine is an electronic voting system and uses an optical scanner to read marked paper ballots and tally the results. I'm just... What are the verified voting equipment here? This is a good question. Oh, shit. I should have did that in a new. About voting equipment. How would you use voting equipment? Types of voting equipment. Optical scan. Direct recording electronics. Oh, there it all is right there. All right. Here's all right here. All right, so I'm putting this out there because I just want the stuff to be recorded. All right. Oh, what are they using in our jurisdiction? Open a new tab here. Let me go back just so we can get that information. Optical scanner. Locations. Hanford high-speed batch-fed optical scanners. Most larger jurisdictions. Okay. Direct recording electronics. Voter can ballot read them. The panels are sip and puff devices. Voter with dexterity input. Voter changes disket. Smart card. Yeah. Ballot marking device. Present electronics. Do and make other lasting records. Here's the hybrid voting machines. Combine two functions. They allow voters to mark ballots. They tabulate ballots. Hybrid systems include hybrid optical scan, BMDs, tabulators. Oh my God, just too much. Punch card voting. I remember when that used to happen. Yeah, that was accurate. It's punch card. Mechanical over voting machines, hand counted paper ballots. That's it. Some jurisdictions manually count mail ballots as well as in-person absentee and provisional ballots. While hand counts are not voting equipment, issues like ballot design and voter intent, which affect all voting systems, are also relevant to hand counting paper ballots. Jurisdictions that manually enter votes into the area are included in the hand counting category. Electric poll booths, remote ballot marking systems, in case you're handicap or something like that, you can't go stand in line. Or it's got to be fill in the box, and they got to count it by hand. It's just the way to do it. Hand count and optical scan. That's main. Hand count, optical scan, hand count, optical scan. Optical scan is just pretty much with everything. New Jersey. They've got all kinds of shit. BMD tabulator, optical scan diary, accessible interface, records votes directly, optical scan tabulator. Okay, jeez, fuck. What's a travesty here? I like the hand count in Texas and optical scan. That's what I like. Hand count and optical scan. Vermont, Virginia, optical scan. BMD tabular and optical scan. Hand marked paper ballots. And the BMD ballot marking device. Look, as we look at this, this is the biggest question. This is just the biggest question that comes up as I'm looking at all these different states and all these different processes, right? I mean, look at them. They're all different. Does anybody find that a little alarming? That there isn't one system for the entire country, like many countries do. Many countries have basically just one system. The most accurate, see, when you say accurate, then they'll say, well, we should use a computer to make sure we should scan, all this other stuff. So the optical scan always comes into play. Let me see what Oklahoma does. Optical scan, accessible interface records, votes directly into optical scan tabulation. Hand-marked paper ballots, direct recording, assistive interface with VVPAT accessibility. Okay. I'm just not liking. Now let's look at what types of voting systems are used in, I'm not going to say Canada. I'm going to say in Iceland. Iceland likes the national level of ceremony. Head of state, the president, and the legislature. The president is elected for a 4-year term. Okay. What types of voting systems? I'm going to say machines. Electronic legislation provided a sound basis conduct. Express vote XL, what the hell is that? Does Iceland use paper ballots? That's better. Does Iceland use paper ballots? Voting machines. Everything you should know about Iceland's election is. I'm going through Google. It's fucked up. Election acts. I think this is. Interlocutors assess electoral legislation. Which countries use paper ballots? Pew Research. Let's check this here real quick. More than half of all the countries and territories have compulsory voting registration. Majorities of territories have minimum of 18, minimum wage of minimum voting age. Before the coronavirus outbreak, paper ballots are by far the most common form of voting. Votes are cast by a manual marking ballot. 2009 of 227 countries, territories which use mixed methods in paper ballot. Most countries and territories allow voters abroad to cast ballots. Yeah, that's interesting. Okay. Key things to know about U.S. election polling. I don't care about the polls. They're never right anyway. But let's go back to this. This is just alarming to me. I'm just... You'd think by now, with the technology we have had for the past 20, 30, maybe 40 years, 50 years, that we would come to the assessment that this is the fairest way. First of all, they should all be American citizens, citizens, period. But you'd think by now there would be this one system that can be checked by both party representatives and an independent representative, which should always happen. But remember 2020, they were boarding up the voting counting ballot rooms. Yeah, there's still video out there of that. And it's just too easy to rig. It's just too easy. Plus, especially when this one lady just sends out all the passwords out. That's just fucking nuts. Right? That's just freaking nuts. Crazy eyes. That's just freaking crazy. They have no other way of doing whatever they're doing. They're going to cheat. That's their thing. Cheat. That is their thing. And they're going to... And I wanted to show you this, though, before I finish this. And I'm gonna start bringing this up in the next day or two. So, in their own words, okay? In their own words, I'm going to read it to you. If the people cannot trust their government to do the job for which it exists, to protect them and to promote their common welfare, all else is lost. That's Barack Obama. Right? Government is not the solution to the problem. Government is the problem. Ronald Reagan. Right? Our future cannot depend on government alone. The ultimate solutions lie in the attitudes and the actions of the American people. That's Joe Biden. That's their own words. It's weird how they shit on themselves, but they still, anyway, take full advantage of all the Patriot Act type National Defense Authorization Act crap that they can on people. Recently giving the ability for the U.S. government to bodily harm its citizens. Just happened. And who's weaponizing what? Our enemies are innovative and resourceful, and so are we. They never stop thinking about new ways to harm our country and our people, and neither do we. George Walker Bush. That could go both ways, domestically and, foreign and domestically. Oh, government is not the problem. This is Bill Clinton, though. Government is not the problem. The government is not the solution. We, the American people, we are the solution. Okay? I'm just saying, in their own words. One of the key problems today is that politics is such a disgrace. Good people don't go into government. And there he is, going in. But the one that stands out to me the most here is definitely the first one. And that's from Barack Obama. If the people cannot trust their government to do the job for which it exists, to protect them, and to promote their common welfare, all else is lost. Now, talk about the hypocrisy of that fucker. It's crazy, right? I mean, just tons of it. Tons of it. But everybody just continues, right? Everybody continues to follow the mainstream media. It's interesting because it's hard to get people to. It's really hard to get people to understand what the mainstream media does and their marketing and advertising and public affairs and all this other stuff that they're able to do. They're great at it. That's their job. They don't make their money off of you. They make their money off of their donors. And their donors are Enron, Lockheed Martin, Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, big hospital, big psychology, and just a lot of people that make a lot of money off of what these people scare you with. Constantly. The predator class and corporate governance, which is all over the World Economic Forum website, pay for and controls mainstream millionaire billion-dollar bills. All their bills. They pay for all their paychecks. They pay for all their salaries. They pay, they pay for these beautiful, gigantic. Look at this. This is CNN and MSNBC and PBS and Al Jazeera. I mean, it's just Fox and if I can name it. These giant studios with all this money behind it isn't there to protect you. And this is the thing that people don't understand. They like the show. Right? We're raised to like the show. We go to the movies, we go to the plays, we go everywhere. It's about the show. I was watching there's a few movies out there. I know that 2012 with John Cusack. And then there was another one I was watching, The Meteor, and a few others. There's a lot of movies out there. A ton of movies. A ton of movie theaters. A ton of big box office hit movies that you'll see mainstream media come in. And you'll see, I've seen Sean Hannity. I've seen freaking Anderson Cooper's in all of them. I've even seen Rachel Maddow. And this has happened for decades, but more recently, in the past few decades, for sure. They will come in and say, yes, the sky is falling, and we have live coverage of it, And at that moment, you have to think to yourself, is that what they're there for? Is that what the mainstream media is there for? Are they there for the show? Of course they are. Of course they are. They are part of the theater, the theater, the show. Period. That's the only reason why they're fucking there. Is to participate for the show, for the global predator class that now is becoming ultra too fucking strong. Right? And you have what's that game, guys? Weinstein, Epstein. Everybody's got a Steen. P. Diddy. And all these sickos, just sickos. All the people that had close relations, intimate relations, hung out, went to their islands, went to their hotels, went to their parties, spent hours upon hours or days upon days with these sickos. They're all endorsing Kamala Harris. I would say at least 95% of them. Just look it up. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. And now you have this party that is in shit. They're in dire straits. Beyonce was supposed to, per the mainstream media, per several different large mainstream media outlets were saying that she's going to be there and she's going to perform. So they get this giant amount of people, probably the most they've ever had at a Kamala Harris rally. And she's there for less than 4 minutes. And disappears. Just fucking walks out. Gone. J-Lo just endorsed Kamala and she's disappeared. She's left the country. Why? Why is that? And all these people are saying, I'm going to leave the country if Trump's elected. Like, what? Why would you want to leave the country? What the fuck is he going to do to you? What did he do to you from 2016 to 2020? I mean, what was the worst thing he did? The worst thing I know he did is he listened to fucking Fauci. That's the biggest problem I've ever had, is he fucking listened. Well, it's hard because like I proved to you and I told you guys, Dr. Anthony Fauci is the greatest pharmaceutical rep on the planet. And if you know pharmaceutical reps, they make good fucking money. They not only sell devices, but they sell prescriptions and stuff like that. He's good. He's been doing it. He's had presidents and leaders of this country in the palm of his hands for a long fucking time. And he got to Trump. And then Trump fucking had an interview with Megyn Kelly that said, I'm vaccine injured. That's what Megyn Kelly said. It was on everywhere. It's it won't take down my channel because it's everywhere. And I remember Trump's look because he'd never really heard or seen that phrase from anybody in that way, probably. And he kind of stumbled. And he goes, I'm not sure what his exact answer. He goes, well, I'm really just, usually Trump has got something. He's got something. But you could see that it hit him, and hit him hard. This is the reason why I believe he brought RFK Jr., Robert F. Kennedy Jr. aboard, to make that right. That's why. Trump is never going to admit that he was played and fooled because that's Trump. He's not. But everything he was doing until that point, and I proved what he was saying and how he was doing. It was a hoax and all this other stuff and blah, blah, blah. And then he fucking flipped. And he bought 100 million doses, and all this other stuff. Next thing you know, he's fucking part of it. But he got tricked, he got fooled, he got played, and they pushed him over the edge with a little bit of incentive. That always makes a deal. That always makes a deal. Fauci knows it. He's good at what he does. But Trump has a conscience. Trump has morals. Trump has ethics, which people don't even realize he does. And people that are probably watching this now that have the Trump derangement syndrome are saying, no, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. Yeah, he does. He's a fucking good dude. He's not a fucking asshole. And he listens to people. You can go talk to him. He's the one that's been to the football games. He's the one that's been to all the events. He's the one that's been to MMA fights. He's the one that's fucking had, at least 8 to 10 times more rallies than Kamala Harris or Biden put together. He's the one out there working his ass. He's the one that's been prosecuted, has had the Department of Justice, Homeland Security, whatever else, in other states and all over the place, AGs, DAs, and everywhere in other states going after him, weaponizing nothing. Just weaponizing stuff out of fucking thin air just to stop him. Trying to take him off ballots. Yeah, he's going to expose them. That's coming. I pray to God and everything in the planet and the universe and the universes and everything that exists that this man wins and has the super majority in the House and the Senate. Or just the majority in the House and the Senate. I'll be fine with. But if he has that, then people, you'll see the exodus of people, mostly the predators, mostly the pedophiles will fucking take off. They'll go to Europe. You won't see him again. You won't see him again. I'm telling you. Yeah. So if you want to be a part of that group, the people that lie, cheats, and steals, pedophilia, and all this other stuff, you go ahead. You know that's okay. That's still your right to do that. Right? But so far, we haven't had very many rights. We've had our rights, our First Amendment rights, being stripped away day by day. I'm on my 6th YouTube channel because everything I proved about COVID-19 in early 2020 was correct now. You can actually say most of that stuff now. But at the time, I was getting channel after channel after channel taken down, trying to warn everybody of the crap they were fucking giving out to people that was just terrible for you. Terrible. Just the most heinous solution of glope or blop or whatever the fuck it was. The Mary Roger Nancy Alpha inserted prickly things in your arm. See, I can't even fucking say it. It's ridiculous. I can't even say mRNA and then say the V word after it. This is your country you want, right? There was something that was good that and I'm going to talk about it with I'm going to show you who was it. Oh yeah, here's the Dominion. Here's a good thing on the Dominion machines. Right on. Where'd it go? Shit. Come on.
Roger Pignate paid $8.5 million in bail. What the public will soon learn is that the bribery paid in the case was not to obtain a contract. The bribery was paid in connection with bribery during the 2016 election in the Philippines. Among those arrested executives is Roger Pignate, one of the 3 founders and current president of Smartmatic. Roger Pignate paid $8.5 million in bail. What the public will soon learn is that the bribery paid in the case was not to obtain a contract. The bribery was paid to alter election results. We have the CNE's source code, the source code employed by Smartmatic, Dominion, and others.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah, if you want that link, I can send it to you. But that guy goes through a whole torrent. I'll just show you. Go to David Foster. Watch this thing. This is, you can look it all up. You can research it. You can reference it. It's all there. Yeah, these people are they're gonna do whatever they can to cheat, to rig this, because they don't have anybody. Nobody wants what's fucking happening. All the wars. They don't want fucking fluid back. They want people, mandated fucking boot boots in your arm and shit. They don't want that shit. That's all they're gonna do to keep the fucking genocide going. Here, you've got Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Make America Healthy Again agenda. What the fuck? And people are going after this fucking Chang or Zhang, Ronnie Zhang, on the Daily Show the other day. Was promoting the World Health Organization, the FDA, and I want you to go to the FDA and look at all that they've priorly or in the past gave authorization to sell, that a few years later to a decade or so later at times have been recalled for just basically killing people. Just go on their website. Just go to all the recalls, all the stuff that they've stopped, all the warnings. You'll be in that for days. Just keep scrolling. You can't stop scrolling because it just keeps coming and coming. If the CDC, all of it, it's just they're not in the business of your health and safety. They never have. Health and Human Services, baloney. I have so much information to prove that, and I like I always do on my Facebook. Just to let you know, on my Facebook, I have tons of requests. I tell people all the time, I go, hey man, look, if you want to bring your, oh look, there I am out there fucking, can you see that? Oh yeah, out there. Oh, here I am. 64 degrees at 56th Street, Newport Beach, California. I just got back from my vacation. And I just jump in the water right there. I'm just going, I don't know why I didn't get that. It's 9 seconds. And there I am. Boop. I'm going in right there. I'm going in. Yep. That shit's cold. I just want to tell you. That is cold, but it was well worth it. I'm going to end with this, though. This is interesting. Because, and I don't know if somebody can translate this, but there's a lot of AI out there, and you can tell this is AI. It's just fucking AI. And there's a person that recently sent me some information, and she says, and this is going to be the case, right? And she says, and I'll just read it, but I'm not going to show you who it is. And I'm just letting you know, this is not a joke. This is real. This is kind of a different segment. I might get into this more tomorrow. But letting you know, I'm voting for Trump. And if you don't, then your country's gone. That's it. It's going to disappear. Elon Musk, one of the richest people on the earth. Another guy, Langer. Anyway, he was on some show the other day. I should have fucking... He said Kamala Harris and the Democrats are going to they're going to just hand the country over to the globalists. That's it. Boop, here you go. There you go. And that's what their goal is. Right? And then you'll be fucked. Then you'll all be fucked. Because they don't give a shit about you. They just want you gone. I told you. All right, so let me read this. They have a diabolical plan to do as much damage to the global population as possible. Well, that's me. Wait, hold on. Let me read that. I see so many of these videos on Facebook that are the UFOs and the aliens and the CGI and the AI and all this other kind. It's very sophisticated. It's said that it will be used to create false return of Christ. They know Christians are watching it. It is also said that they will use it to create realistic aliens to scare and control us and imply that the Christians that have disappeared, not raptured. When Hillary lost the presidency, she is recorded as saying, "Is it time to pull out our alien card yet?" Not fucking, this is not a joke, people. This is not a joke, right? And then my response, they have a diabolical plan to do as much damage to the global population as possible. Their end game, right? Their end game. Genocide 2/3 of the planet population and hoard the rest for themselves. By any means possible. That's it. So all this shit you're going to see, and I got this guy here on Rogan talking about they saw this, there was the Pentagon, they have all this information and they're going to show this. All right, let me see if I got hang on, what this guy was showing here. All these recordings.
Filming stuff. But from a Department of Defense perspective, our focus, now Arrow's a different story, but when I was in the government, we had to be very, very careful of something we called intelligence oversight. Back in the 60s and 70s, the U.S. intelligence apparatus, particularly in the Department of Defense, was kind of naughty. They were doing things they shouldn't do. They were spying on students, and they were spying on American citizens.
You
and they
don't
were doing
say.
things. Yeah,
Crazy.
Right. Say it isn't so. So Congress passed some laws and said, okay, you can no longer do this kind of stuff on.
It's to hear the music. Anyway, I mean, all I'm saying, and I got to tell you that, Trump would not be putting in this much time and energy and information if he didn't think he'd have a chance. If he knew there was no way for him to get past the rigging, the lying, the cheating, the stealing, but there is a way, and you got to get out there and vote. That's all I got to say. Get out there and vote, people. And those of you that still believe the, left-right paradigm, which is there, I get it, but there's a different person here this time. And what else are you going to do? I always bring this up. Why? What else are you going to do? Because you don't have time. You can't give the Demoncratic Party another month in office. It is gonna be extremely bad. And my last video I did said, and they've done this forever, they promise you everything and deliver basically nothing. Right? Because I went through the comparisons that some guy did what Trump is going to do and what Kamala is going to do. But I got to tell you, Trump's going to do all his shit because he's got it in paper and he honors the shit that he does. He honors the stuff that he does. Kamala isn't going to do any of that. She's gonna fuck everybody because they just created and they just let out 5024.01 directive, which means that they can kill you. The U.S. government now has authorization to take you out if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. Now, if that isn't completely and thoroughly the most 1984 Orwellian shit you've ever heard, it's true. Look it up. I've shown you the documents. I've shown you their own website and what they did. It's nuts, man. It's just... You think you're voting for something that's going to give you peace and freedom and liberty and all that stuff. They're not. Trump is the only person doing that right now. He did it before. He just had the wrong people, which he admitted. He admitted in many of his more recent interviews that I really didn't know. I trusted people I probably shouldn't have trusted. Right? And what does that say about his character? He didn't know. He's not a fucking politician. Sorry he doesn't talk like, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. I mean, not exactly like him, but, or speak eloquently like fucking Tulsi Gabbard. It's just not going to happen with this guy. He speaks like some guy that you're talking to that runs a company down the street. That's basically it, and that's what I want. I'm sick and tired of these other fucking people. But you need to understand what's at stake, because if Kamala, if for some way or another finds a way to fucking beat at least 90 million people that are going to vote definitely for Trump, then it's going to be hell. It's going to be hell. And that's already been hell. It's going to be 2 or 3 times worse. For sure. They're not going to promise any of that stuff because they already got troops out. They're already installing a bunch of military out there. It's just bad. You guys really don't know what's going on. It's fucking amazing what's happening in the most heinous possible way to us, you and me, as just the average American citizen. God bless the United States. God bless you. God bless my family and friends and my neighbors and everybody else. I hope you guys understand what the fuck is going on. But it's hard because the media is powerful. They know how to get people wrenched, triggered,